Every breakthrough in medicine, every advance in technology, every discovery that changes our world, starts with a single research paper. But how does raw research become trusted knowledge that shapes our understanding of the world? Today, we're going behind the scenes of scientific journals to discover how they vet, publish, and distribute the research that advances science. Welcome to Behind the Scenes, How Scientific Journals Shape Knowledge. From groundbreaking medical discoveries to climate research that informs policy, scientific journals are the gatekeepers of knowledge that impacts billions of lives. So what exactly are scientific journals and why do they matter so much? Scientific journals are publications that contain peer-reviewed research articles, written by researchers and evaluated by experts in the same field. They serve as the official record of scientific discovery, allowing researchers to build upon each other's work and advance human knowledge. Without journals, there would be no reliable way to verify research quality, or ensure that the science informing medical treatments, environmental policies, and technological innovations is trustworthy. Think of journals as quality control systems for science, ensuring that only rigorous, well-conducted research reaches the global scientific community. But how exactly does this quality control work? The answer lies in a process that has been the gold standard of scientific publishing for over 300 years: peer review. Let's walk through the peer review process step by step. First, a researcher completes their study and writes up their findings, then submits their manuscript to a scientific journal. The journal editor receives the submission and makes an initial assessment. If the research appears relevant and potentially significant, the editor sends it out for peer review. The editor selects typically 2 to 4 experts in the same field, who volunteer their time to carefully evaluate the research. Reviewers examine every aspect: the methodology, data analysis, conclusions, and whether the findings truly support the author's claims. The reviewers send their detailed reports back to the editor, who then makes one of several decisions. The paper might be accepted as is, require minor or major revisions, or be rejected entirely. If revisions are needed, authors address the reviewer's concerns, sometimes conducting additional experiments or analysis. The revised paper goes back to the editor and often to the same reviewers. This process can take months, but it ensures that only high-quality, reliable research gets published. The result is research that the scientific community can trust and build upon. Now, peer review isn't perfect. It's conducted by humans who can have biases or miss errors, but it remains the best system we have for maintaining scientific quality and integrity. The process doesn't end at publication. The broader scientific community continues to evaluate and discuss the research. Not all scientific journals work the same way, especially when it comes to who can access the research. Traditional subscription journals require payment to access articles, which can limit who gets to read and benefit from scientific discoveries. Open access journals are changing this model by making research freely available to everyone. Anyone with an internet connection can read, download, and share these papers. This democratizes access to knowledge, especially benefiting researchers in developing countries, and often leads to greater research impact and citation rates. However, many open access journals charge authors publication fees instead of reader subscriptions. Fortunately, many funding agencies now provide money specifically for open access publishing. Some journals offer hybrid models where individual articles can be made open access for a fee. Many institutions also maintain repositories where researchers can share versions of their papers freely. Government policies increasingly require that publicly funded research be made openly accessible. This shift toward openness is transforming how scientific knowledge is shared and used. Both subscription and open access models have their place in the current publishing landscape, but the trend is clearly moving toward greater accessibility and transparency in scientific communication. The scientific publishing process involves several key players, each with crucial responsibilities. Journal editors are often leading scientists themselves who guide the journal's direction, select appropriate reviewers, and make final publication decisions. Peer reviewers are the unsung heroes of scientific publishing, volunteering their expertise to ensure research quality without financial compensation. Authors, of course, are responsible for conducting rigorous research, following ethical guidelines, and accurately reporting their findings. Publishers handle the technical aspects: copy editing, formatting, and distribution. They ensure papers meet publication standards and reach the intended audience. Together, these players create a system designed to advance reliable scientific knowledge. Research institutions and libraries also play vital roles by providing access and supporting publication costs. And funding agencies make it all possible by supporting research and increasingly, publication costs. This collaborative network ensures that scientific discoveries can be properly vetted, documented, and shared with the world. One of the most important functions of scientific journals is promoting reproducibility and transparency. Reproducibility means other researchers should be able to repeat the study and get similar results. This requires authors to provide detailed methods, share data when possible, and make their research materials available to others. When other scientists can verify findings independently, it strengthens confidence in the results. Journals increasingly require transparency about funding sources, potential conflicts of interest, and ethical approval for studies involving human subjects or animals. The scientific community has become increasingly aware of a replication crisis, where many published findings cannot be successfully replicated. This has led to improved research practices and stronger requirements for transparency. Open science initiatives are making research more transparent than ever before. These efforts help ensure that published research is not just peer-reviewed, but truly reliable and trustworthy. When research is transparent and reproducible, it builds a stronger foundation for scientific progress. Unfortunately, the scientific publishing world faces several serious challenges. Predatory journals exploit the open access model by charging fees for publication, while providing little to no peer review or editorial oversight. These fake journals can be hard to distinguish from legitimate ones, especially for early career researchers. Even in legitimate journals, papers sometimes need to be retracted due to errors or misconduct. While retractions are necessary for maintaining scientific integrity, their increasing frequency raises concerns about research quality and pressure to publish. Publication bias is another major issue. Journals tend to favor positive, exciting results, while studies with negative or null findings often go unpublished. This creates an incomplete and potentially misleading scientific record. The pressure to publish in high-impact journals can lead to rushed research. As career advancement often depends heavily on publication quantity and journal prestige, the scientific community is actively working to address these challenges through improved peer review processes, better recognition of negative results, and education about predatory journals and ethical publishing practices. While these issues are serious, it's important to remember that the vast majority of scientific journals maintain high standards and contribute valuable knowledge to society. Awareness of these problems is the first step toward solutions. Scientific journals remain the backbone of how we create, verify, and share knowledge. From life-saving medical treatments to climate solutions, journal-published research shapes our world. The peer review process continues to evolve, becoming more transparent and inclusive. Open access is making research more accessible than ever before. New technologies are improving quality control and making the publishing process more efficient. As the next generation of scientists enters the field, they're bringing fresh perspectives and commitment to more rigorous, transparent, and ethical research practices. As consumers of scientific information, we all have a role in supporting quality research and building a more informed, evidence-based society. The next time you read about a scientific breakthrough, you'll know the rigorous process behind it. Thanks for joining us behind the scenes of scientific publishing.